Hi guys, and welcome to probably one of the most important lessons in chemistry, and that is stoichiometric calculations. So I know this is a chapter that is very difficult for a lot of you guys, and you might walk out of class thinking, how am I going to get this? But allow me to make it very, very, very simple for you. Stoichiometric calculations become very easy if you just realize it's kind of like baking. So let's say I want to make brownies. So I go to my recipe book and I see I need, for example, 3 cups of flour and 1 cup of sugar together with 3 eggs. Just a very stupid example. And that will give me 12 brownies. Now let's say I get to my cupboard and I see I actually don't have 3 cups of flour, but I do have 1 cup of flour, and it's fine. I don't need a lot of brownies. I'm just craving a little bit. Now that means I can't still use the same number of cups of sugar and eggs if I change the flour. I'm really not going to get the same thing if I just change this one and not that. So what I do, and like you would have done if you have ever baked something, or cooked something where you follow a recipe, you have to change all the amounts. And that means that you're also not going to get the same at the end. So just like I can interpret and change my ingredients and my product according to what I have and what I don't have, that's exactly what I'm doing in my stoichiometric calculations. Because remember, like we said in the previous video when we spoke about mole is a grouping term that refers to molecules. So if I look at this reaction, it means that I have 2 water molecules. So here's 1 molecule and here's another molecule together with 1 oxygen molecule, and that gives me 2 water molecules. So, but now remember, like we said, we aren't dealing with 1 or 2 molecules and atoms. We are talking about trillions, millions and billions, lots and lots of tiny little molecules. So I can't really talk in terms of the atoms and the molecules, but I can talk about the moles. So just like if I don't have only 2, I can change this recipe. If I have, for example, 4 molecules, 4 molecules, that's fine. If I add another molecule over there, then I'm still going to get the same thing, but just more of it. So I'm changing that. And that's exactly what I'm doing in my stoichiometric calculations. So these values here in the front, remember there's a 1, but we don't write the 1. These give me my ratio. So they tell me if I have 2 moles of water, of hydrogen gas, and 1 mole of oxygen, I will get 2 moles of water. And then I can change according to this, according to the ratio. But let's say, for example, I didn't know how much flour I should have. I only knew I had 1 egg. Or for example, I didn't know all of these yet. I just knew I wanted 24 brownies. Then if I look at the recipe, I only need to know the change that was made to 1 reactant or product to know how I should change the rest. So, and that's why it's very important here. So what you're always going to do when you are working with your stoichiometric calculations. And these steps are always, always, always the same. You just follow your steps, 3 steps, and then you will have your stoichiometric calculations totally under control. The first thing you do is you need to calculate the moles of the reactant or the product that was given, and you do that with one of your four formulas that we saw in the previous video. If they give you mass, you use this formula, volume this formula, concentration, like we did in the previous video. Then you are going to determine the moles of the product or reactant that you are being asked about, and you do this using the ratios. And then you simply have to change the mole into the asked quantity. So for example, if they asked you for mass, then you need to convert moles back to mass, and you do it with one of your one of the formulas that we have here. So it's only these 3 steps. The single most important thing here is just to make sure that you have the correct ratio, which means you need to check that your reaction, you have a balanced reaction. This is very important, otherwise your ratios aren't going to work. But now the big question is, okay, that's all fine and dandy to know I have these 3 steps, but how do I know when to do this? So if they ask and give you information on one reactant or product. So in other words, they give you information about the hydrogen and they ask you a question about the hydrogen. Then you just use your one or more of these formulas, depending on what they give you and what they ask. How you should know when to use your 3 steps is if they ask you about one, but they give you information about another one. So for example, if they give you the volume of gas of your hydrogen, but they ask you about the mass of the water that is formed, then you know stoichiometric calculations. They ask you about one but give information about another one. And there you have it. The only thing that comes up now is my limiting reactant. So I'm going to do that in the next video. Also, if you want to see examples of stoichiometric calculations, please go and have a look at the video on limiting reactants, because I did an example of exactly how to use these steps as well. Or go and have a look at my study guide. The stoichiometric calculations are all over the place. You can also, in the video on the percentage purity and percentage yield, I'm also going to go through examples of how to use these steps. So that's why I'm not doing it in this video. Please go have a look at those videos.